excited? Hello beautiful people, welcome back to Voyage of Emina, and today we are going on a trip, probably one of the most awaited trips of my life, and I'm so happy to take you guys along with me. So sit back and enjoy. So here we are, 4.5 hours on the road, and then we finally reached the Delhi airport. That is the Terminal 3 of Indira Gandhi International Airport. And after the usual airport hustle and bustle of trying to check in our luggage and praying that our baggages are not overweight, and finally getting our boarding passes and immigration cleared, and then the security control and all of that, we finally reached our gate. We did have a lot of time to kill, and hence we were just loitering around the airport trying to figure out how can we loiter away our time. We did try to get some sleep, but then the seats were so uncomfortable and the airport was too crowded and busy that wasn't an option. Finally, we headed to the food court for some solace and found some good food. And after all of that, our boarding was announced and we boarded our flight. There was a half an hour delay, which was quite okay, considering the fact that we did have some time before our next flight from Abu Dhabi. So our first flight was from Delhi to Abu Dhabi via the Etihad. The experience with Etihad was great since the seats were cushioned well, and it also had an adjustable headrest with ample leg space, working condition, entertainment system, as well as extra pillows for back support and a blanket for covering ourselves, as well as eye protection. So overall the experience was great. Even the in-flight food was surprisingly better. So yeah, I would definitely recommend traveling with Etihad for a long flight. So this was a 3 hour 40-minute flight, and afterwards we landed at the Zayed International Airport in Abu Dhabi, where we had to go through security twice, and then the customs as well as the immigration for the US. And from here, what happens is, once you finish your Abu Dhabi airport security check, you reach to this area in the video where the duty free is, from where you walk towards the gate. From the gate, you take a bus and go to the US border and security control, where again you have to stand in lines for the customs and then the security clearance and finally the immigration. Once immigration is done, they send you to the waiting area, which is a cramped up area where you do not have even enough seats for all the passengers. So most of us ended up either sitting on the floor or standing, and finally took our 16-hour long flight to Washington Dulles Airport. The flight experience was great since we had an exhausting experience with all of those security procedures. Most of the time we were sleeping or either watching a movie, and the food on board was also great. We kept getting food, had no idea of the time because already we had crossed 2 or 3 time zones, but overall the flight experience was great. And finally we reached the Washington Dulles Airport. There we encountered a problem with our taxi, since the taxi that we had booked online had ditched us and we were ended up stranded in a new country. Thankfully, the Washington Dulles Airport allows you to enter back inside. There's no security. You can enter and exit the baggage area as many times as you want. There's no particular security there. So we did find a very helpful Chinese elderly man who was at the "May I help you" or the information desk. He guided us to the Washington Flyer service, which is a taxi service for the Washington Dulles Airport, which was priced at 1/4 the cost that we had paid online. Not only was that, the drivers there were really helpful, and the car that we booked also was huge, since it was 3 of us and we all had 3 bags each. It was very helpful. Overall experience with Washington Flyer was great, and would definitely recommend going with them from the Dulles Airport rather than booking taxis online, which is such a scam. Anyways, finally we reached Baltimore, which was a 1.5 hour drive from the Washington Dulles Airport, and we checked into our hotel, which is the Homewood Suites by Hilton, and it is located near Inner Harbor. That symbolic thing is a landmark here in Baltimore. I do not remember the name of it, but anyway, the whole experience of reaching the US was such a daunting procedure, especially from the time we were trying to get our F1 visa slots, which was also only God's grace, since as you all know, the waiting period is like nearly more than a year, but then we did, I don't know, we prayed and we finally got a visa slot, and our visa interview was in Kolkata VAC Center and the Kolkata consulate, where we went and attended our interview. And we did see a lot of people getting rejected, but thankfully our visa was accepted. And finally we are here in Baltimore to be part of Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health. And I hope you guys enjoyed the vlog, and see you in the next.